Good evening and welcome back to Crime of Midlife. It is Sunday evening and I'm not getting ready for work because we're off tomorrow with it being a bank holiday, so I'm very excited about that. This evening I am talking nationalisation, privatisation, stuff and things, because there was a report in the media that said 5 private eye care firms have made approximately the same amount of profit as from the NHS, or well, I don't know if it's from the NHS, but they've made roughly the same amount of profit as 100 private finance initiatives, the PFI things that they did with hospitals and stuff and schools. So 5 businesses have made the same as 100 profit-wise, not costs, profits. And it just, I don't know, I'm speechless. I can't see why this would still be seen as a good thing. Why we are still bringing in contracts from private firms instead of building the NHS. Because we all know what happens. You've got like your schools, your hospitals, your prisons, railways, everything. Everything that was like run by the government. And then it started costing too much. And what they did was they started small. Like they'd put the cleaning contract out because it meant that they didn't have to employ their own cleaners. So they didn't have to pay the minimum wage. They didn't have to pay the national insurance. They didn't have to pay all that. That was the company that they hired in. The company that now, as opposed to being, oh, we're so cheap, look how much money you're saving, the company that's now costing them a fortune. They did the same in hospitals. Hospital cleaning got changed. Hospital catering got changed. Local councils. Local councils don't normally have their own contractors now. It's a different company. Sometimes it's a company owned by the council, but it's all this money manipulation. And I just personally, I think it's wrong. If there is and I know for the NHS especially, some people will say the only way I got anything done on the NHS because of the waiting lists is I had to go private to a private hospital via the NHS. Oh, why hasn't the NHS improved? Oh, but they don't have the money. Well, maybe if they stop paying out so many stupid contracts and the government stopped paying so many stupid quangos and consultancy fees, etc., etc. Best will in the world. Why would someone pay a consultancy fee to someone to tell you how to run your own business? If you're talking about a hospital, then it should be the doctors, the nurses, the staff in the hospital that are telling you what they need instead of paying a consultancy for them. What's that about? So, yeah, that headline I find absolutely horrifying. And I know that there's arguments on both sides. I know there is. But surely the amount of stuff that's getting privatised now, it needs to stop, because all it is profiteering. And I get that, yes, it's a private firm. It's supposed to make profits for its shareholders and everything. Look where that's got us over the last few years. All these multi-millionaires who have got all this profit, and so many people, certainly here in the UK, still on minimum wage, and God forbid that they increase the national insurance cost to try and help pay for the hospitals and the eye care, etc. Because, private business can't afford that. I could tie myself up in knots, and I know, as I say, there's neither one side nor t'other. There's arguments for both sides. But I definitely think that as a nation, we should be looking after our own instead of farming it out to private companies. Because if I'm right, I did this research quite a few years ago, But I think if I'm correct that there's not one energy company in the UK owned by a UK based firm. So yeah, if we fall out with somebody, that could be a bit of a problem. At the moment, I think we have a lot of fuel. I don't know if it's gas or oil, but I think there's a lot comes from the States. That could be a bit of a problem as well, the way things are going there. There's so many things. And, so yeah, that's my thought for today. I think we should have more stuff done in-house. Catch you later.